And joining us now is Brendan Blumer, Block.one CEO. Pleasure to have you with us, Brendan. Thank you so much for joining us. So you actually finished the world's biggest sale of cryptocurrency tokens for around $4 billion back in May. What are you planning to do with that money that you raised?
Well, if you look at how token networks were distributed in the past, it was mostly through burning electricity in order to create these tokens. And so the thesis behind our token sale was to take that capital that was normally used to create tokens and then divert it back to the developers that are spawning the next generation of innovation. So we just announced a $1 billion fund for EOS VC. We're investing that with partners throughout the world back into the hands of the developers so we can see what comes from that type of capital innovation.
Sure, but in terms of how you're actually going to use the money you've raised so far, do you have a roadmap that you're sharing with investors? Yeah,
so we've shared, like I said, the first $1 billion of capital into EOS VC. The primary bulk of it is really designed to use as investment into developers building on the EOS.io application itself.
Yeah.
The first commitment of $1 billion is what we've made public. However, we haven't limited our involvement to that first capital. There's no need to overfund those programs in the early years.
Yeah, and in terms of investors, I mean, Bloomberg has reported that you're winning funding from Peter Thiel, Jihan Wu. Can you confirm that?
Yes, we can confirm that. Right. We did a strategic round a little bit a couple months ago, and this technology is really a platform that allows us to start to disrupt some of the large centralized technology platforms today, and these are leaders in that space. And our next plans will make it in terms of what we build on the application ourselves. It'll become a little more apparent why we chose the investors that we have.
Okay, and when are you planning to release that information?
Hopefully at the end of this year or early next.
Okay, now that's obviously a positive thing, great news. Thank you for sharing with us. But the other thing that we've seen is reports of resignations of some of Block.one's earlier executives to start their own blockchain project, which I believe is called Block. Who has actually left the company? Well,
there's always some churn in the employees. None of our core team has left. Okay. None of the people that have actually been core, building the technology since the beginning. But we encourage those people that have worked with us in the past, future to continue to be part of the community. So we see it as a strong positive sign that although they are no longer with the organization, they're continuing to foster the ecosystem.
Are you looking to fill those spots, hire more people, and in what capacity?
Those spots were long filled before they were dismissed from or let go from the company.
Okay, got it. So what does that mean for EOS and the strategy around that, the fact that these executives have left?
Oh, no change to the company.
Yeah.
We continue to bolster the ranks of our management team. As you can see, we brought in the former chief financial officer for the Commonwealth Bank of Australia, as well as a new C-suite that's basically building out a global management team.
Sure. We were talking earlier, but you confirmed that you've got funding from Peter Thiel, Jihan Wu. As you did mention Jihan Wu, I want to ask what your thoughts are about Bitmain's IPO. Do you have any similar plans?
Well, potentially IPO is one route that Block.one could take in the distant future. I mean, we're still in the early stages of developing our business, but Jihan in Bitmain is an investor in Block.one. Their business is a little different to ours. They manufacture hardware. They are located in Hong Kong, and I think that shows the kind of gravity that Hong Kong is pulling in terms of the industry. A lot of market leaders setting up there, very free capital markets. With a lot of same ideologies as blockchain itself. So they're big supporters of the project, but very different business models.
Got it. And with your company as well, how much do you have conversations with the big global banks in terms of integrating blockchain into the already established international financial system?
Well, we're still in the stage of doing a lot of awareness with these financial institutions. As I mentioned, our new group president was the former CFO of Commonwealth Bank. So we do have a lot of expertise in the organization that's taking a look at kind of the technology that we've been building and how it can relay over into their core banking software. So some of those discussions are happening, but a lot of the banks are still in the early stages of understanding how they can maximize this technology and to move them to the next generation.
Final quick question. What will it take to reverse the rout that we've seen in cryptocurrencies this year?
Well, I think that what you saw last year was a lot of interest in a very short period of time. And that happens when you have any type of new technology that has such revolutionary promise. So I think it's just a matter of going back to the drawing board or continuing to push forward the innovation as people see the change actually start to get implemented. I think that everything will fall in line accordingly.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me.
Brendan Blumer, Block.one CEO, great to have you with us.